Let's go! Run, people! Oh, hurry, he's taking it away.
You just made it. Like that. We're all waiting on Zorn. All right, so on time drawing. Thank you all for being here on time. We have a goodie bag. And let's see, which are the lucky numbers?
4. What?
All right, lucky number is, what is it?
2.
4.
Oh my gosh!
Mila is the lucky one. What does Mila get? No, you gotta, you guys have to tell me what this is.
What is that?
What is it?
Oh,
Coasters from
oh,
Rock
that's so pretty.
Wrong, it's not a coaster.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh,
What is it?
charger.
A digital charger.
It's a wireless charger. And she gets a Epic Bug. Thank you, Shawty. And a mouse pad.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lucky number 4.
Yes.
All right. As you can see, I'm wearing, not over here, it's over here, a pink 1-pin, as Emily is, a couple of others, he's got one on. So it's a pink one, what?
Shadi's asking where's hers.
Brian wants one.
She says, where's mine?
You got one. You got one.
Woo! Everybody gets one! You want to pass it out? She stole my thunder. All right. Take a picture. Hey, Emily,
Yes, yes, yes.
take a picture of your favorite branch manager and sales manager. Make sure you post on Facebook. Check in on Realty One Southwest. Make sure that you use the hashtags. All right, and just take pictures throughout and then check in at the end. Here is our rev up calendar for the next week. Tomorrow is module 4, the sales cycle and effective client communication. It is live at the Summerlin office, 9 to 11. The instructor is Jen. And then that's supposed to be Monday. Is your database is your business, creating your online presence. Madara is teaching that. Module 5 next Wednesday is the residential purchase agreement. And then a week from tomorrow is working with buyers, getting your offers accepted. Actually, you're teaching this on Monday, aren't you, Emily?
Good luck. Yes, I am.
Emily is the instructor Monday, so, and that is Zoom only. All right, there's my license number for your writing contracts. Let's hope you're writing lots of contracts. Zelle has been a real hit. A lot of agents are using Zelle to get their commissions. Not that we don't like you coming into the office and picking up your checks. We love seeing your faces, but you can get it direct deposited. All right. On October 10th is a blood drive, and we do the blood drive right here in this room. I have signed up. I think I'm on a 10:30 slot or something like that, so sign up for the blood drive. Every Friday is our Team Spirit Friday. I will be wearing, what am I wearing tomorrow? I think I'm wearing Rams.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Eagles.
Who's the Super Bowl champions? Nope, the Rams. I think I'm gonna wear Rams. So every Friday we have, wear your favorite team's jersey. And
I'm wearing that.
the last Friday of every month, which is when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we do happy hour. So who's gonna join us for happy hour? We will have maybe some spirits, maybe some snacks.
Mocktails.
Maybe some pizza, maybe some other stuff. So be here. It's just a time to end of the week, end of the month, and time. Hey, you want me to get that yet?
$10.
You need to start that again, don't you?
Snacks is on him tomorrow.
Yeah. So be here tomorrow, 3 to 5 for our happy hour. We always have a lot of fun. And then October 27th is our annual chili cook-off and dress up. We always have a theme for our dress up. Our theme this year is Monster Mash. So dress up in your favorite monster costume. What are you dressing up as, Angel?
Me? No.
What?
He's already dressed
Why?
up.
Why not?
I never dress
What
up.
is it?
Angel has never ever dressed up. have you?
I'll make sure you just.
Why?
I don't think so.
Brian?
Oh, we're gonna be a duo costume.
And then save it to your calendar, December 16th is our holiday party. What is that?
Who's RSVP?
Yep, so.
Can we RSVP now?
No,
No, not yet.
you'll get an Evite.
Oh,
So
there you
it's
go.
by Evite. And I'll tell you right now, there is a cost to the party. It will be $11. The $11 is strictly going to charity. That's all it is. It's our way, of giving back to the community. We don't want to make any money. We don't really, it's just so that we can give back. We haven't chosen the charity yet. We have a couple of ideas. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, and I'll ignore them. Just kidding. All right, so when is it?
Oh. Subject to change.
Subject to change
Finalized,
again.
sorry.
This
No,
was
no,
final.
it's final.
This is final.
It's final.
So October 14th, there's a Twilight Brokers Open. Rocio is just on a little $1.2 million property. And it's from 5 to 8.
Yes,
And refreshments will be served,
of course.
of course.
I
Mark
wouldn't do
your,
it without it.
yeah, mark your calendars for that. Where is it? This is in
Mountain's Edge.
So Mountain's Edge, not too far away. Zippy, Brian, what is happening?
Mark, how are you?
Zip, Brian is our breakfast sponsor this morning, so thank him for the.
It's about bagels, it's not about Brian, that's cool.
It's all about food around here.
Does anyone need a flag?
How many times did I mention food in the last 5 minutes?
You're welcome. My name is Brian Lindsay. I'm one of the 2 owners of Zippy Shell Moving and Storage. We've been working with Realty One for about 4 years now, out of this office up in the Northwest and in Summerlin. And essentially, Zippy Shell is a, let's see, is this the clicker for that?
No.
Good, Mark, to get with it. That's cool.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, yeah, it's in his hand.
Mark, do you have the clicker?
Oh, I don't have.
Oh, is there no presentation in there?
I'm sorry.
Is there? Oh, you didn't, okay, so it's Nicole.
Sorry.
That's good, so we can just chat. May I borrow this from? I'm sorry. So Zippy Shell started like pods. We're portable storage where we bring a Zippy Shell container, it looks like that, to your home. But shortly after we started, about 8 years ago, we said, darn contract this summer, I don't want to load this thing. Can you provide some movers to load it? So we started loading our portable storage. Now, when it's loaded, whether your clients load their stuff, their things themselves, or whether our professional movers, our employees load it, we bring it to an indoor climate-controlled storage facility on the back of the brochure. We have 50,000 square feet of indoor climate-controlled storage. Every Zippy Shell container has to be indoors, climate-controlled in Las Vegas. Then, we began working with our parent company, Zippy Shell Inc., to start shipping these containers around the nation. So if you have clients in California or Atlanta or New York, Chicago, Dallas, you name it, anywhere in the nation pretty much, we can send their things there. Or if people want to move to Las Vegas and who wouldn't, we can bring their things here. So we branched into long distance moving. Then finally, about 5 years ago, we had customers start saying, well, I like your Zippy Shell storage concept, but I'm moving. I live in Pahrump and I'm moving to Boulder City. I live in Summerlin and I'm just moving down the road to the lakes. I live in the Northwest and I'm moving to Henderson, you get the idea. So we began buying moving trucks also on the route. And we started performing local moves. Now myself and my other owner, whose name is Shrek, and if you've seen him, you understand. We are serious believers in customer service. We personally follow up with each and every client. And due to that sort of consistent focus on customer service, we are blessed in that we have 4.5-star reviews on Yelp, on Google, and Facebook. That's our rating. And I can tell you that's not easy for a moving company where so many things can go wrong. We follow up. If we make a mistake, and all companies do, we make it right for your clients. It's a very personal, high-touch service that your clients get. People with a lot of raving fans on Facebook, Yelp, and Google. So our storage solution, the Zippy Shell you see on the front, is a flat fee of $259 a month. Our big competitors like Pods and Pack Rat, they're over $300. For local moves, your client is in Summerlin moving down to Henderson, we charge an hourly rate. For example, 3 movers in a truck, $159 per hour. So whether people need to store, again, indoors and climate controlled, whether people need to move long distance or local moving, Zippy Shell provides this service with exceptional customer service for your customers. In addition, if they mention Realty One, they get an additional 10% off storage, even though we're already lower in price than our competition. If you have a customer who needs to declutter their home, put some things in storage so their home looks a little more clean, might sell a little faster for a better price, we put their things in storage. You can direct them what should come out, or sometimes they tell us. Then when they're ready to move, we move them. If their closing falls through by a day or 3 days, no problem. We can put their stuff in storage on the spot for them. Short term, long term, doesn't matter. Kind of like long term. We've had customers in storage with us for over 7 years. And you gotta wonder, after 7 years, do they really need this stuff?
I've heard people using your service for when they're coating their garage floor. They pull everything out of the garage and put it in there, and then once it's, the garage floor is ready, they put it back.
The beauty of Zippy Shell is that we're both a storage and a moving company. We offer both services. All of the employees are ours. They're not contract, not temps. They're hired by us, they're trained by us, they're on our payroll. And I think that helps to explain the ratings a little bit. We're extremely convenient. It's a 24/7 town, so we work all hours. We're open every day of the year except for that one high holiday that we do close on. Do you know what that day is that we close?
Halloween? Nevada Day?
Right there, Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. That's the only day we won't do moves. We moved someone on Thanksgiving last year. Someone asked for Super Bowl Sunday, it's a hard no. We're not tyrants after all, we're just employers. So with that, do you guys have any quick questions regarding Zippy Shell and our services?
You said the storage was $250 a month? What did you say?
Storage is $259 a month. That's for one Zippy Shell that holds about 1,000 square feet of home. Local moves are charged by the hour, depending on the size of the crew. We offer professional packing, we ship cars, we're a full service moving company. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to give a testimonial. It's not me. So Kuba used Zippy Shell, and he highly recommends them. He used for moving. So
Yeah, moved to Colorado, very discerning client, had a lot of nice stuff he needed moved.
I'm sure he did.
Guys, thank you so much. Emily, nice to meet you.
Nice
Mark,
to
thanks
meet
for having
you.
us again.
Absolutely.
Thank you all, Realty One.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
All right. Next up, Shawnee. She doesn't have anything to say except rates are really good right now.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that.
Really good.
Felicia's not here, so we don't. Emily.
Oh, Emily.
Let's talk
That's
some stats.
me. Hey. So in the last 5 weeks, we've been staying on the 10,000 mark.
Right there.
You know, so
Yeah.
it, you know, like a few months ago, a few weeks ago, we were going up and up and up from 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 inventory. And then at 10,000, in the last 5 weeks, it's settled down.
Last week it was 10,278.
Yeah.
This week it's 10,229.
Yeah, so it looks like we're, you know, staying within this range. We're staying, I think, the buyers and the sellers have kind of come to terms. We are at the 4.4 mark on our housing inventory for the months of inventory. Median days on market is inching close to 50 days. Average days on market is higher than that, but median is at 46. We're staying at about 50% of our listing with a price decrease. And so hopefully from now on, the sellers have come to terms that, you know, we've left the March, April market in the highs. We're seeing a lot more builders offering higher incentives. So like for instance, Century Communities is offering incentives right now. Just keep up. I ask you guys to go and follow the builders list because, you know, they just have a lot of good stuff right now and they're slashing their prices too. I went on Open Door last week just on my research. Open Door has also come down. Some of their homes has come down 20%
Wow.
in price.
Wow.
So if they're in the $500,000-$600,000 range, some of their listings are now 20% off. So, you know, I think it's a great thing. There's a lot of money to be made for us agents, really. Just keep up with all of your buyers, keep up with everybody that you can come in contact with, because I think in the next few weeks here, once they come back, we're gonna be in a great position, but Mark will cover more of that.
So remember, the market is always changing, but the market is what the market is. I have here something that I pulled off of Facebook. A friend of mine, her name is Vonda, and she used to be a coach for Tom Ferry like myself. And she posted this. I thought about, you know, I'll just, you know, rewrite it and take credit for it. But she did such an amazing job. I'm giving her full credit. And I'm just going to read it to you. It's 3 pages long, but it's really, really good information. Starts off, it says, OMG, 7% interest rate. Okay, so what, right? 7.25 right now? You know?
Raise the interest rate.
And, she goes on to say, this is the market. Yes, of course, I feel bad and sorry for the buyers that were pushed out of the market and now they can't afford the home that they want anymore. Many of us have those buyers, right? That you know, just can't qualify once the rates went up 5, 6, 7%. But my message is for the agents. GOI. What does that stand for?
Oh, yeah.
Get over it. Get over it. There's a
Have to
new
Google that.
market. Unfortunately, the market is what the market is, and we can't change it. Interest rates go up and interest rates go down. Hopefully they'll go down soon. Remember, Shawnee is amazing. She doesn't control the interest rates, though. The market is always cyclical, back and forth. For those of us that have been in real estate for many years, we have seen interest rates in the 7% and higher, right, Maida? Sometimes much higher, you know, 10, 13%. I'll tell you this, if you're worrying about the market, you should pivot your mindset and thinking process now and find the opportunities. Don't sit around bitching and complaining about it. There's things that we can do. Right, Maida?
Yes.
All right.
Open houses every weekend, you get leads.
It says, OMG, the wave of expired listings coming up is going to be amazing. It's going to be a fabulous opportunity. I've been saying that for a couple months now. We're going to start getting a lot of expires. Get good at it. All the listings that will expire because the unprepared and unskilled agents that don't know how to price the homes for this new market, and also unfortunately don't know how to ask and obtain a price adjustment. There's a lot of agents out there, and I used to work expireds a lot, and I would go out on listing appointments, and the seller would say, the agent came out, listed my property, put a lockbox on the door, put a sign in the front yard, and never did anything. They never even, the sellers would say, I would have lowered the price if they would have asked, and I went in there, took it at a lower price, and ended up selling the property. So there's a lot of unskilled agents out there. She goes on to say, if I were you, I would put myself in a 3-month boot camp to become an expert in expired listings. She goes on and says, I'm telling you, it's going to be an incredible amount of opportunities, just amazing. All the FSBOs coming up are going to be great too, you know. Back in the last 2 years, it was tough to get FSBOs because FSBOs were selling, you know. Now they need us. So let's go work the FSBOs as well. Plus, the average number of agents getting out of real estate business was 2% per month. Now the number is going to be much higher, and I don't want any of you to be that statistic. Unfortunately, agents will be leaving the market in bunches, more business for the high-skilled and highly prepared agents. Be one of those high-skilled, highly prepared agents. Are you leaving, staying in anxiety, or thriving?
We're thriving. Come on, guys. We're gonna thrive in this market.
Well, now the truth is, you should worry if you don't know how to sell and don't know how to work at a skill-based market, which we are in now, and if you are not decided and committed to learn and improve. But most of you all should just make the change and improve your skills, approach, confidence, and strategies. Here's the thing, you're going to hear this a lot, is we need to pivot. What we did these last couple of years will not get us through the next year to 2 years. We need to do things different. We can't just wait around for the phone to ring like we were doing, and the phone was ringing, and we were making a real nice living. We got to pivot. We got to do things different. The solution is to generate more leads organically and by paid attraction too. I always say there's no right way or wrong way to do this business. If you want to work expireds, FSBOs, circle prospecting, if you want to buy leads from Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever. There's no, just pick and choose your 4 to 6 lead sources and do those at a high level. Consider this, number 1. Some buyers won't be able to buy because they can't afford the new interest rate for the house they want. They're gone. That's out of our control, right? What's that?
Is that bye?
Or we can take them to Century Communities that are offering a 4%.
Yes.
You know, you try every avenue to get them. Number 2, some buyers can buy, but they don't have to. They have low motivation, so they'll wait and see. Number 3 is some are not comfortable with the interest rate, so they will stop looking because their buying style, their modality of decision making and risk tolerance do not match with this market, and that's okay as well. Those are the analyticals in the DISC profile. 2 different personality styles. I don't like uncertain market changes. That's the analyticals and the amiables. They don't like change. Number 4, some will buy no matter what because they have to or because they want to, or they have so much money that the interest rate doesn't bother them. You must find these buyers.
And they're out there.
They are out there.
They are out there.
It's your job to find them. Again, this is the market for the highly skilled and prepared agents, not for the weak dabblers and unprepared. In this market, every seller and buyer are looking for the most prepared, skilled, confident, and strong agent to buy and sell their homes with. This is the best market full of amazing opportunities. One of my best real estate coaches told me this, Vonda, pray for a slow market. With your skills, energy, and passion, you will dominate the market. And she did. Trust me, you don't have to slow down. You can actually maintain or grow exponentially. Get ready for the waves of expires, lots for sale by owners, and cancellations. I think there's a gold mine in the expires and FSBOs. You just need to go out there and work them. You need to get really, really good at your skills. What?
How do you get the expired's phone number?
There are services out there, such as the Red X, Land Voice, Vulcan 7, Espresso Agent are the four that come to my mind. But there's services out there that will get that. Now, they're not perfect. They're probably 60-65% correct on the numbers. But they have their algorithm, and they go out and get them. So.
Okay.
And here's the thing, just be aware, don't buy leads if you can't convert the leads. There's a you can buy all the leads you want, but if you're not able to convert them, and there's a lot that goes into converting those online leads.
Know what to say, get
Yeah.
scripts,
Yeah.
practice your scripts.
Over and over and over, get a
Over and
practice
over.
ready.
Until it becomes natural, where you're not reading it anymore. Practice it at home, practice it with your family, practice it with your friends,
Yeah,
right? Because the
Absolutely.
scripts are important. Sometimes we kind of just get stuck, like, I don't know what to say, right? Or you kind of just get, okay, I'm having, one of those days where I just can't think right now. Have your script ready, because the scripts.
if you
helps.
need scripts, if you want scripts, reach out. We have scripts. I have Tom Ferry's script books from some of his seminars. We have Realty One has scripts. So if you want scripts, just reach out and let me know. She goes on to say, you must scale the free lead gen. Do fanatical follow-up. Do fanatical follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. Don't give up after 1 or 2 or 3 tries. Follow up, follow up, follow up. I had a first sale by owner that I worked years ago. Followed up for 3 years straight. Finally, she called me up and said, Mark, you're the only one that followed up, so come out and list my home. So the fortune is in the follow-up. Yes, this market is not for everyone. Definitely it's not for the wimpettes, or non-committed and unprepared agents.
Who wrote this?
Her name is Vonda. Vanda, V-A-N-D-A. There's her name right there. She's awesome. She does a lot of great videos. So anyway, just go out and get prepared and get coached up for this market that we're currently in. I'm not even going to say that we're getting into. We are in this market now. So be prepared and hone your skills. Become one of those very prepared, very professional agents.
This is an exciting market, I think.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
let's make money.
There's money to be made here.
Right,
All right, I'll get off my soapbox for now. For now, doesn't mean I won't get right back on it. All right. So while you're really here, you're not here to hear me. It's Ken Elmer over here. Ken, who do you work for? You work for Sync. You work for.
No, so I'm the CEO of a company called IDC Global. We're the company that built One Suite and the One app for you guys. And I was in Vegas this week, and I offered to come in and hang with, my favorite client. So
Very cool.
they were busy, so I'm here. That's what I told Mark. Right? A little bit of that. All right, I think I need to reconnect everything that we just connected, so give me 1 second here.
Lights?
AC?
Oh, the AC is
Lights, AC, action, is that what we're doing?
hot or cold?
Hot.
hot right now?
Knock it down a degree or two.
Okay. You got it.
All right, so while I'm reconnecting this, who's the mortgage person here? The mortgage
Johnny,
specialist.
don't leave.
She tried to sneak out.
Mortgage rates aren't that bad, come on now. No, I was just gonna say that it's 1993, I'm 24 years old, I'm buying my first house. The FHA loan bank guy from US Bank sits across the table and he says, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, you are never gonna see 6% again. 6% is the lowest rate we've seen forever. You're never gonna see 6% again. And we never did see it again because it wouldn't get right, now we've seen it again. So it's all perspective, right? It's all, now granted, that house was $92,000 brand new. But anyway, you know, it is all perspective, things come, things go, but I still think about that now that we're sitting in the 6s, which we can never sustain as an economy because we're so used to the 3s.
Yep.
But it's just how things go. Just wait, right? Just be patient, wait it out. Stock market goes up, stock market goes down. Houses go up, houses go down, right? The real troopers are the people that stay in it. And I'm gonna give you one thing today to kind of push that along, all right? So anyway, you can go now. I'm just teasing you. No, we'll really get out of here. By the way, here's one thing I found. I come to Vegas like 10 times a year. I say it's for business to my employees, but I really do enjoy this town as a visitor, and I do enjoy like a cigar at night, which is pretty much anywhere.
Oh, I thought they were smoking dope there.
Yeah, no, that's me. That is my Zoom picture, which I've gotten a lot of flack for on executive calls. But I did notice last night, I mean, no one in here, I noticed all the locals say that they don't gamble, right? And all of us visitors, we could totally say we gamble because we don't live here. But I'm sure half this room plays video poker occasionally.
No.
So last night, someone see what happened up at Circa? Guy
What
was
happened?
playing $500 hands and hit 4 aces and a kicker. What's the math real quick?
Wow.
Derek actually
15
came out
million.
to pay him $400,000
Wow.
on a single machine, on like just a
Wow.
single, $500 a hand.
Let's sell him a house.
Yeah, that was, yeah, just like that, $400,000 commission, do the math. Okay, that house doesn't exist. Okay. All right, so I want to shift it up a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit. You know, there's like 50 different tools inside of OneSuite, right? There's a ton of stuff there, and sometimes we get overwhelmed. I'm going to show you one thing today, just one thing. And that one thing today is based on this problem that you have that you really don't know you have. For those of you that have been here for a while, and I say been here, have been in the industry for a while, versus those of you that are just new the last couple of years, you understand that the last 2 years that we've had, it's not typical. You could chuck a rock in any direction and find someone that wanted to sell their house. And then you could chuck another rock, right, and hit 2 people that wanted to give you 5% over that in like 30 minutes after you put the listing on. Right, what we've gone through is not typical, but the long view, right, the long view says we're gonna have ups and downs. What I wanna help you with is this one problem, and I gotta use somebody here as an example. So you were here first, and you're gonna help me take that coffee machine out to my car, right? Absolutely. All right, I fell in love with your coffee machine. It might not be here when I leave today. That's just a heads up. Send the bill to Cuba. My button's still there? What's your name? Richard. All right, Richard. Richard's got a problem. He doesn't know he's got a problem
Oh, he
yet.
has lots of
know
problems.
Yeah.
Mental
Take
problems.
Richard.
I don't know if we can help him.
Did I tell you that I also have a psychology degree? Well, we'll talk later on, so we'll do a counseling session. So Richard's problem is, in the last 2 years, he's sold 100 homes, okay? He's done 100 transactions. He's absolutely killed it, which is great. The next 2 years, you ain't doing 100 deals, okay? I'm not worried about the next 2 years. What I'm worried about for you is 5 years from now, okay? Because the stat is, and listen, I know you all think you're above average, right? 78% of Americans think that they're above average, right? Let that sink in for a second. The average agent only repeats 35% of their business, all right? So 100 transactions, 35 of those people, you've got a decent shot at doing another transaction with. Why is that only 35, right? The 65% that will not transact with you, that's our problem. The problem is that in most businesses, especially that are dependent upon repeat business is everything. And we're all doing all these things to get all this business for the last 2 years, but that's supposed to be the foundation of how you double in size and then triple in size, right? As a company. I see every one of you as an individual company. So I'm gonna give you one tool today. It's not the end all, but it's one tool that I think will help solve the problem. It's a great, what we call a post-transaction follow-up tool, right? It's something that's automated, that's in OneSuite, that a lot of people don't know how easy it is to use and how cool it is to use. That you should be doing to all of this business you got in the last 2 years. Not because, your client down here is ready to transact next week. She just got over her move. She does not want to hear from you. But 2 years from now, maybe an investment property. 4 years from now, maybe the house is too small. 6 years from now, maybe it's too big, whatever. But maybe your sister just got a real estate license. And you're like, Richard was great. I mean, he killed it, but I mean, how hard can a real estate transaction be? I'll give this over here to my sister who's, had one real estate transaction, right? Little bright shiny objects make people forget how important you guys are to one of the biggest transactions of their life, right? So you need to stay in front of them. And there's all sorts of tools to stay in front of them, right? We've got drip campaigns in the system. That's easy. I can send a holiday card. I can send them birthday cards and home member. All that stuff's great. I'm gonna give you one that's a little bit cooler of an item of value that I think that you'll enjoy, and it's very easy to set up, and it's very personalized, okay? All right, good, so let's do that. I'm in OneSuite. Hopefully you recognize it. If you're like, what's that cool thing on the screen? Then there's issues, don't say that, so I'll report you. But what we want to do is we want to talk about this one tool called a property detail report, okay? So a lot of you, well let me show of hands. Who's actually got property detail reports running in the system? Yeah, like 2, right? So what I'm going to show you here, I think will be very effective. A lot of people see property detail reports as a farming instrument, right? I can set it up for someone, I can do it kind of around a specific neighborhood, and I can send it to people monthly, right? It's part of your farming exercise you do for neighborhoods or whatever. But it's a great post-transaction tool, and I'll show you why. Okay, so here's where we find it, okay? And again, you guys can write stuff down. I don't think we're recording this, but there are tons of videos about, I would say, let's walk through it together so you get the gist of what we're doing. But property detail reports are right here. We go in there, you can see I've got some running. We're gonna set up a new one. So I set up a new property detail report. I need to name it real quick. So I'm gonna save my report for Lisa. Okay, now, here's what a lot of people don't realize. The property detail report, right? You can set up a report for 3 ways to geographically understand something important about the property. So Richard, you sold Lisa her house, okay? So you go in here and really what do we want to do? Well, we want to do a nice follow-up to Lisa, but something that's somewhat relevant. I mean, you're gonna send her a birthday card, that's fine. But something having to do with this huge transaction with her. That's gonna be kind of non-invasive, that's gonna be simple, and that's what we're gonna do. So Lisa moved to Anthem Country Club, right? And so wouldn't it be nice to send her a report every 90 days, let's say, of all the real estate stuff that's happening inside of Anthem Country Club? That's like a 45-second thing. Let me show you how to do it, right? So I go here, I name the report. Don't worry about map search. Don't worry about drawing a polygon. I've already got Anthem Country Club in your system for you. In fact, I have all the subdivisions in here for you guys. If you scroll down here, you can see this section that says area. You can pick by MLS area, okay, which means nothing to your buyer. Most of you probably doesn't mean nothing to you as well. You've got subdivision here, which is an absolute train wreck. This is the section in your MLS where you can enter your own like subdivision. So like if you type in Emerald Valley, like 48 things come up, right? It's just terrible. But look at this one, community name. Anthem Country Club. Boom. I don't have to set up zip code. I don't have to put her address in. I know I sold Lisa a house in Anthem Country Club. So what am I gonna do? I wanna send her a nice looking report. And by the way, for those of you that don't know what this looks like, we're gonna show you what it looks like in a second, right? All I need to do is pick Anthem Country Club. I go down here and click OK. So I've named the report. I've picked Anthem Country Club. I gotta type in my contact. So I type in Lisa. She's not a real person in the database. I forgot about that. But Billy Bob is always in my database. Now, This little thing right here that says initial intro. When I send the first report to Lisa, right, it would be nice if it was kind of personalized to our relationship. Initial intro, what that means is the first report she's gonna get, and by the way, I'm gonna show you how to set this up that it goes out quarterly for her. She doesn't need to see this every week. She probably doesn't need to see it every month, although she could, but we're gonna send it out quarterly. But the very first one she gets, I'm gonna reintroduce why I'm sending this to her. So I click in here to initial intro, this is what's gonna show up on the report. We'll pretend again it's Lisa, although it's really Billy Bob. Hey Lisa, I wanted to reach out and share how great it was, again, to help you with your latest home buying experience, right? This was one of the largest, you could go on and on. This was one of the largest transactions of your life. I feel how important that was to you, right? You can reconnect with Lisa based on why she's getting this thing from you, okay? And then after this, it's just gonna go into more generic text. But this is all we need to do. We save and close that, and then we say here on email frequency, well, Lisa should get this probably every 90 days. Now, what have I done? I've set up a report for Lisa that shows her all the activity going on inside of Anthem Country Club. It's gonna go out to her quarterly, and it's just gonna go for till the end of time. It's probably a 1 to 1.5 minute investment, okay? We can't even really measure that. And now Lisa's gonna get this really nice report that I'll show you what it looks like that's tailored to everything going on around the biggest investment she's ever done. How simple is that? It's really easy. Is it easier than setting up a drip campaign? No, that's one click in 5 seconds. I'm asking you to take 90 seconds to do something here that could be substantially more beneficial. You can't tell me that that's not worth it. Question?
Yeah, the report name, do they see that or is that just for you?
That's just for you.
Okay.
Yep, great question though. So this is a report that I generated earlier this morning. This is what it looks like in her email. This is my Gmail account. This is a property detail report. It says, Dear Rodney, blah, blah, blah. This is the generic text, but it would say, Dear Lisa. It's branded to you. Again, what are we trying to do with post follow-up? With post-transaction follow-up, that's a mouthful. I need to come up with a friendlier way to say that, right? But really what it is, all we're trying to do is stay in front of someone, right? Let's assume, because I think it's like the stats like 87% of people that transact would recommend their realtor and are happy with their transaction. All right, so let's assume that that's most everybody in this room and most of your transactions. The goal is not to convince someone again how great you are. The goal is to make sure that they don't forget you. That's substantially easier. Send out some holiday cards, maybe set them up on a newsletter campaign or whatever, and set them up here. And so what we do is we brand you right there on the first page. By the way, you see the button that says print? You can print this off, prints out beautifully, and drop it by Lisa's place and say, hey, you're gonna get this from here on out via email, but I thought I'd drop one of these off. And by the way, you can set one of these up for that person you didn't find the phone number for the expired listing and drop it off at the front door, right? There's all sorts of things you can do here to do prospecting with this as well. We've got about 7 different training things on what a property detail report can be used for. But what we're talking about now is post-transaction follow-up. It shows her a map, and again, in this case, this was a different area, but you can see it shows a map, it shows the off-market data, your sold data, your average days on market, some different, wow, you're making a lot of money if you sold, or if you bought there 2 years ago. It gives you a nice market summary. This is North Las Vegas, right? And then it kind of shows the different pictures. You can look at all the details. It's basically a nice info thing of what you would send out to somebody. I mean, think about it. This was a $400,000 Anthem Country Club. It's $1 million investment for Lisa, right? If she had $1 million with a broker at Fidelity, he'd be sending her nice big reports about all her money every month, and that would just be expected. You just did this $1 million investment for Lisa, and you're sending her a birthday card every year, right? Give her something that has some meat to it. And this is a very, very easy thing to do. And a lot of people don't realize it's so easy. They look at the property detail report and they're like, well, that's great, but I don't want to send it to her for the zip code, because the zip code of Anthem Country Club stretches into this other area where the homes are half the value or whatever. That's fine. We've got the data in there for all your subdivisions, okay? In fact, let me show you something else. Let's say Lisa wasn't in Anthem Country Club. Let's say she bought one of the properties. I never get over here to Southwest. I'm staying in Green Valley. There's some homes kind of up on the ridge right there. I don't think they're part of any, you know, any subdivision or whatever. They're probably, that zip code probably spans all sorts of stuff. There's 3 ways that I can define geographically, right, what's interesting to Lisa. Let me show you all 3. The first way I just showed you, right, going down here to community name and picking it. Let's say Lisa doesn't have a community name, so we'll get rid of that. I can also, and this is right here at the very top, I can type her address in and pick a radius. This is honestly the easiest one. So I could type Lisa's address in, the home I just sold her, right? Or maybe her future address if I helped her as a buyer. Sorry, that was the same thing, but you get the idea. And depending on, you know, kind of how heavily centered it is with homes around it versus not, you could just do a radius. Here's a 1/4 mile around your new property. You don't have to tell her that, it's just all the homes around her property. The third is probably the most complicated, but could be highly effective if you're interested. And for that, I have to actually show you a new one. For the third, you can actually go in and draw a polygon. So here, you can see, I mean, that's right where we are, right? You can just zoom down in here and you can say, okay, well, it's not really Sutherland South, it's Sutherland South underneath kind of this breezeway area, and you can just draw a nice little polygon. And then that becomes this area that's going to be special and important kind of just to Lisa. So if you don't see the subdivision in there, and again, once you do this one at a time, it's kind of like riding a bike. I mean, first time you'd skin your knee, it takes you 15 minutes to get back on, right? So it takes you maybe 5 minutes to do this the first time, then do it again. Then maybe it takes you 3 minutes. Then after that, you can knock these out super fast. I mean, let's think about it. You could binge an extra season of Stranger Things on Thursday night, or you could grab a cigar, you know, a little bit of whiskey, go out to your back patio with your laptop, and knock out in one cigar probably 20 or 30 or 40 of these. The investment of time is well worth it for the benefit you're going to get, okay? Now, I would really encourage you to play with this report. This report is great at, let's see, one thing we didn't have to do in the last 2 years is open houses, right? Imagine you're going to an open house, right? You have to do an open house. You've got refreshments at your evening open house thing that you guys were doing this week. That sounded super cool, by the way. You got your refreshments out the whole 9 yards. People come in to see the open house, and you've got one of these reports for the neighborhood, or maybe within a 1/4 mile. Print it out, maybe 5 or 6 copies of that. Super simple, sitting there, hey, I'm kind of an expert in this area. Why don't you take one of these things with you? I mean, what are the other agents in their open houses giving out? Their business card. You're giving out this really sweet report that shows everything sold in the last 30 days, right? And all of the activity in that specific area. You kind of look like you know what you're talking about, right? So that's another thing that this can be used for. This can be used for farming, right? You want to farm Sutherland, you know, Summerlin South, you know, do a little report about that. If you don't have email addresses, print it out, drop it off. That's probably a gated area. They probably won't let you in there to drop things off. I don't know. But you get the idea. There's just tons of reasons and ways you can use this report. A lot of people miss the idea that you can do it for post-transaction follow-up. Make sense? You guys understand the issue? One of the things that I love about agents, and I work with 140,000 of them, right, is that you guys are so wonderful in relationships. One thing I found, you know, running companies for 30 years, people that are really great in relationships usually drop the details. This is the kind of details we need to do now to make sure that when the next boom happens in 5 years, you guys have taken the 100 transactions you've done over the last 2 years and converted 75% of those into repeat buyers. That is easier to do than you think, but you need the tools to do it. Because if you just think it's going to happen because they remember you, you're crazy. Okay? And I've been through this. I bought and sold tons of different properties, investments, personal homes, whatever. Did many transactions back in the mid-90s with an agent that totally took care of me every single time. I never heard from him between transactions. I could not today tell you his name. I have no idea what his name is. Now, I don't live in the same city, but he was a team. They drove a really cool BMW. I literally, yeah, I never thought about that. I could not tell you his name.
Ken,
And he did 3 transactions with us.
you gave us a statistic earlier, like 87% would use the same agent, but.
But only 35% do.
Yeah, I think it's actually lower than that. I've heard
Yeah.
12% actually do, and it's because you're not following up with your clients.
The only reason that the disconnect can exist is because they forgot about you, right? If 87% of your transactions are great transactions where people say they're happy with you anonymously, right? But only 35% come back to actually use you, there's only 1 or 2 reasons. Maybe someone's husband gets a real estate license, right? That could be a reason. Maybe they move out of town, that could be a reason, right? Maybe they forget about you, that's the primary reason. We've been trying to fix this with our tools for a long time. And we've got some other new tools coming out next year that will do this automatically for you, but between now and then, you got it right here. Again, I like to measure time in cigars and whiskey. This is, you could knock out 30, 40 people in a nice, medium-bodied Churchill cigar, and that's well worth the time. Yeah.
Does the program has the ability to change the language in Spanish for first?
We don't, no, we don't. We've gotten that request a couple times a year. It's not a terrible request.
80% of my clients are Spanish speakers.
Okay, all right. Maybe let's talk about that afterwards. Figure out exactly how we would do that and where we would need to do it. Would it have to be everything, or would it potentially just be like a certain section of the reports? We can talk about it.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at a full report and sort of go over it.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
And how, you said you were gonna show us how to set this up quarterly for them to receive it quarterly? How
Well,
do you
the
do
way
that?
we set it up, it was good to go. Right underneath that initial intro is a drop-down that says
How
email
often?
frequency,
Okay.
right? And it doesn't say quarterly, it says every 90 days, right? But we can all do the math when that's quarterly. All right, let me show you one more cool thing.
Question for you.
1023, we're
Is
fine.
it possible to have it go through to text instead of email? Just because they open up more text than email.
So this report doesn't go through texting. Listing alerts go through texting. So for those of you that haven't used OneSuite for the listing alert feature, you are seriously missing out. I mean, I know you guys have Las Vegas MLS, and most of you use that. Some of you use probably Real Scout or maybe some other pieces. But the listing alerts system that's built into OneSuite is amazing, and it does text notifications when listings come through. And as you know, those get read 10 times more than an email. This report is not a textable thing because it's a follow-up piece, right? It's not as urgent. I don't need you to see it as quickly, and there's too much data. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you that know OneSuite, you know that we have a OneSuite app, right? I hope so, because it's been like promoted everywhere forever. The last stat that I saw, I'm gonna share my phone real quickly here. The last statistic that I saw regarding the app, and again, you gotta think about how many power users we have in the system and how many actual users. The app's been out for, I think, about 2 months now, maybe 3 months. I think there's about 2,400 Realty One Group agents logged in and using the OneSuite app. Which, when you think about how many people have their own thing and all that kind of stuff, that usage is very high for considering it's just kind of came out. So for those of you that don't have that, let me show it to you because I want to show you something kind of really cool about it. Okay, this is my demo phone. The OneSuite app looks like that. It's in the App Store. It's Android and iPhone. It works really, really well. Once you log in, all you need to do is provide your phone number and you get this screen, okay? Now, take a look at this. This shows you a bunch of different stats. up here, it says I've got one active contact, okay? If I click on that, guess what that is? Look at that date, 9/29. This was when I was sitting over there, I opened up one of these property detail reports and clicked on a property. The app, within 30 seconds, shows me someone's interacting with my stuff. So not only is it important for Richard to know that Lisa is getting this report for Anthem Country Club every 90 days, but it's really important for you to know for the first year, she's probably not gonna open it. And then maybe 14 months in, she opens it and she's like, this is kind of actually interesting. And then she starts to look at real estate prices that have, gone up 20% in Anthem Country Club, and she starts clicking on properties. That's when we're gonna show you that she's starting to interact again. Is that valuable data? Of course that's valuable data. We're gonna show you this on two things. Number one, the property detail report, okay? Number two, listing alerts. So let's say Lisa calls you and says, Richard, it's been 2.5 years. I got 40% equity in this house. We got to do it. I got to downsize. I'd like to take the cash and run, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for something smaller. Put me over in Green Valley. That's great. So all of a sudden, you're setting up listing alerts for her, and you've listed her house, right? So she starts to interact with your listing alerts. Guess what? The app will show you exactly the same thing. It'll show you what properties that she clicks on, what properties she viewed, what she likes about the properties, all within about 30 seconds of when she does it. So if you're sending her text notifications, you wouldn't be. The system is sending her listing alerts because she's now a buyer. The app is actually going to show you what she's doing, and at the end of every day, if she or anyone else has interacted with any of your reports, it's going to pop up a notification that says, one or more of your clients has interacted with your reports, go take a look at your active clients. So you're going to see same day at 4 o'clock, right, who you need to potentially maybe touch base with. Cool? Yeah. So for those, and that's like 2 of 100 tools, right? But I thought we'd focus on one thing today, right? And you guys can't forget about the app. The app really is special, especially if you're using the other tools, then it really exponentially gets pretty exciting. Okay, so again, what do we talk about? Property detail report. 3 ways that you can set it up geographically, right, with your previous last 2, 3, 4 years, maybe even 5 years ago. Re-engage, right, of your previous clients. I don't want to say previous, of your existing clients that are just paused, right? First would be grabbing that kind of subdivision. That's the easy one, Anthem Country Club. If they're not part of that, drop their address in and pick a little, quarter mile around the address. If that still doesn't work for you, just draw a little polygon. All those things, very easy to do. The first time you get in there and do this, you might want to watch my training video on it. It might take you 10 minutes, but I guarantee you, after you kind of ride this bike a little bit, you'll get in there and this will be very, very easy and well worth the time and the investment. Okay, that's all I had. Unless you want to talk about 90s grunge victims or anything?
He's an Alice in Chains fan.
Alice in Chains fan.
Clearly on the back of his computer here. So
That and Starbucks, that's what you get for inviting a guy from Seattle.
So, you guys have any other questions for Ken? Do we want Ken to come back?
Yes.
I mean, you come to Vegas 10 times a year. Spare us another Thursday here and there, right?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. I'll be here for Summit. I'll be speaking at Summit again. For those of you that haven't seen me before, I spoke at Summit last year. Let's see, I'll be at base camp in a few weeks. I'll be back in March. Yeah, I'll be back here. Actually, we should talk about it in March. I'm coming out here in March for a week for a couple conventions, and I can pop in here for it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
Happy to do it.
Thank you very much. All right, remember, no matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. Don't forget to go on Facebook and share your pictures and everything. Cool.